Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes. Okay, motion carries. Item 6 on our agenda this morning is to set the special session meeting for the 2022 primary election canvass at Tuesday, June 14th, 2022, Flag Day, at 9:05 a.m. to be held at the election center. I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to set the special session meeting for the 2022 primary election canvass for Tuesday, June 14th of 2022 at 9:05 a.m. to be held at the election center. Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to set this date. Any questions, comments, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 7 on our agenda this morning is to approve the 2022-2023 service contract with Youth and Shelter Services of Marshall County. This is for $11,000 annually that gets paid out. I do need to mention that they're very cognizant when we have David Hicks with YSS handle this, that these funds are not used for anything that is mental health related. It is for shelter services only. I'll entertain motions on this approval, please.
Mr. Chair, I've moved to approve the 2022-2023 service contract with Youth and Shelter Services of Marshall County. $11,000 to be paid as per contract services and authorized chair to sign the contract. And I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further questions, comments, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes. Okay, motion carries. Item 8 this morning, we've had some requests for a little update and possibly some refreshment on the hows and whys of the Green Mountain Sanitary Sewer Project update. This is discussion and possible action. We have Christy with us this morning, which is from, have you guys got a new name or am I still adequate saying Iowa Rural Water Association? Oh, Christy, you're muted.
There we go.
There we go. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, and thank you for inviting me this morning to talk just briefly about the Green Mountain project. Our utilities name right now is Iowa Regional Utilities Association. It changed, I think, about a year or two ago, and so it's confusing, but that is our new name. In regards to Green Mountain, the number one thing I want to say right out the door is that we've had several people contact us indicating they thought that the project was no longer going to go forward, just based on having to rescind the CDBG block grant funding. I want to assure everyone that is not the case. The project is still going forward. We're still putting all the pieces together to make that happen. So the project is definitely a go. Where we're at with everything is we've had a few challenges in terms of working through all of the requirements that USDA has laid out for us. Part of that is, we've had a lot of experience over the course of 30 years working with USDA rural development. The biggest challenge has been that they have several new staff people here in Iowa working with us on this project. And because of that, it's taken longer to actually get through each step of the process and trying to develop new working relationships, dealing with people that may interpret rules in a different manner in which they've been interpreted in the past, and then crossing each of those hurdles in a manner that would allow the project to move forward. Now, this morning, I have been working with USDA just prior to this meeting. We're trying to get some definitive answers on the actual nuts and bolts of the funding, meaning how much will the grant money be and how much will the loan documents have to be in order to do the project. And my greatest concern is that we keep the rates affordable for the residents. We're going to have a meeting with them. They were scheduling it as I jumped on this meeting. So I will be participating in that. We'll get that resolved. That's with our insistence because we do have a meeting that we'll be notifying the public about. It'll be on June 22nd, which is a Wednesday evening at 6:30 in Green Mountain for us to update all of the residents, share with them any new information that we have about the project. And hopefully at that point, we'll have some more specifics about construction that we can relay to them. I know they have been exceedingly patient with this whole process, which has taken a lot longer than anyone anticipated. And so we just look forward to moving forward, doing the construction and getting those people the sewer and wastewater disposal options that we've promised.
Christy, I thank you for your diligence on this. This goes back, we started this project over 14 years ago when we had John Kuntz with us as our zoning individual. So this goes back a long, long ways. We thought we had this thing whipped. This just kind of turned around and bit us in the backside, but we'll get past it. I think the taxpayers need to understand that this money on this project will be repaid by the ratepayers, that this will not be a burden on the Marshall County taxpayers.
That is correct. And that is why we're doing the due diligence to make sure those rates remain affordable, because they have to be affordable for the users to be able to pay for their wastewater bill. And those rates also have to be able to pay back the loan portion of this project. And so the due diligence right now is to make sure that we don't wander from those parameters and make sure that it remains affordable. And we hopefully will have that resolved here just shortly and be able to communicate with the homeowners there specifically.
That'll be wonderful. That's going to take a burden off of these homeowners, that they'll be able to transfer their properties if their lots are too small to support a septic system. And it's really going to lead to the economic development for the city of Green Mountain, an unincorporated area, because it's got a wonderful school system. It's off of a hardtop road, and there will be many lots that will be able to be usable now with this project going through. And I think it's going to lend itself to an extreme amount of development in that area.
Certainly. And we do encourage anyone that is interested to participate in the meeting on June 22nd, because it will be a thorough update and we'll work with everyone to make sure they understand where things are at and then how we're going to go forward so we get the project done.
Are you going to hold that meeting at the community center?
Yes, it'll be at the Green Mountain Community Center.
At what time?
6:30 p.m.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that when you said it earlier.
No, that's quite all right.
Gentlemen, I don't think we need to take any action on this morning. No. Unless you've got something in mind. Okay. Christy, do you have anything else you want to bring anybody else up to speed on, or comments you'd like to make?
No, I just appreciate all of the help that you have given us and the patience that you guys have had to endure to work through all of these hurdles, and just the support you continue to render in terms of talking with people and encouraging them to hang in there, because it has been a long process. And I don't think there's any one of us that just doesn't want it done.
I agree. We've jumped over a lot of hurdles in 14 years.
Yeah.
Much this morning. I appreciate your time and comments. Unless you gentlemen have anything else, shall we wrap this up?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your comments this morning, Christy. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Moving on to item 9 on our agenda this morning is personnel changes. Approve secondary roads department new hire of Wesley Spencer, effective on or after June 28th, 2022, as mechanic number 1, full-time, 40 hours per week at $27.02 an hour. Paul, you have any comments on this before we?
Yes, this hire is to fill that upcoming retirement of a truck driver. And when we have retirement, we open up the position for bidding in case anyone wants to change positions. And one of our mechanics bid off on the truck driver position. It's going to be open by retirement. And so then we had a previous applicant who was more than qualified, and then Wes was still interested in mechanic's position. We hired a class mechanic, so we went back to him, and he's still looking to join us.
Good. I'm glad you got that filled. It says a lot. That being said, I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the secondary roads department new hire of Wesley Spencer, effective on or after June 28th of 22 as mechanic 1, permanent full-time at $27.02 an hour.
And Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this change, a new hire. Any further questions, comments, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosik.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 10 on our agenda this morning is the Laurel Repower Wind Project, cease of operations and closeout. Paul, you want to bring us up to speed? You've got a couple of guests here this morning.
Yeah, Andy and Mitch from Mid-American Energy are here with me. This is just basically officially ending their operations as far as the repower project down at Laurel. There's 52 towers. You guys would like to speak to the board, that's just fine.
Yeah, I'll just introduce myself, Mitch Steffes with Mid-American Energy. I was the on-site construction manager for the Laurel Repower project. Like Paul said, we did repower 52 turbines on that project. Mid-American would like to thank the Board of Supervisors and Paul for the positive working relationship throughout the project and the trust established between both parties to ensure that the county roads were maintained throughout the project. We hope that you have, I guess, like I said, we've turned those roads back over in better or likewise condition. So, like I said, thank you for the opportunity. And you guys know.
Sure. Yeah. Andy Wales, project manager, Mid-American Energy. I just want to ditto what Mitch said. I think it was a very successful project, great working relationship with the county. Our goal is to come in. We're obviously a guest in the area. We want to make sure we maintain good customer relations, and everything went well that way. I think everyone's pretty happy with the results, and we are on the construction side. So we just appreciate the cooperation and the good working relationship we've had with everybody involved.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Yeah.
I think we've repowered over 780 turbines in Iowa thus far, and this has been one of the best counties to work with in regards to not only board supervisors, county engineer, but the residents as well. Great community, and everyone was welcoming throughout the community. So thank you.
Well, it must have gone pretty good because I didn't get any phone calls.
That was gold.
I got one the other day, but it wasn't from a hauling operation of rock that you guys had done. So are you satisfied with bringing the roads back to
Yes.
the condition they were in or
Yes.
better?
Completely. They were very responsive anytime I had even the smallest issue, they were responsive immediately. And I also had almost no calls. I think I had one call from a landowner whose concern was that they wanted to see a dirt road upgraded to level A. And I do want to make it clear that even though Mid-American in their process of their work, they did make some great improvement and added some material that was removed from their project area to the dirt road or two. I have no intention of upgrading the dirt roads from Class B status. A couple of them don't have sufficient right of way. I don't want to open a level A road on 40-foot right of way. So even though they may be a little better and they're not going to get rocks next year.
Did you receive any calls?
No, I did not. We had a call, but it was in that vicinity, but it wasn't anything to do with what you guys were doing.
Wonderful. Okay, that being said, I'm sorry, go
Just
ahead.
the letter that they turned for signature, basically the three issues or the three items on page 2 are the things that we were agreeing to with that letter, but basically it's just saying, I say the roads are in fit condition and receivable to go back into service, and they already are in service with our maintainers back on the territories.
Essentially, it'll tie back into the special use permit that we had with Marshall County. Close that out.
Okay, anything else?
You made the propellers bigger?
Correct. So it went from 101 meter, so improvements made on the turbines. We replaced top tower sections, so 47 of the turbines were upgraded. We did replace top tower sections, the nacelle, the hub, and the blades. So it went from a 2.3 to 2.38 megawatt turbine. And the blades went from a 101 meter to a 129 meter. So essentially those blades are 46 feet longer. Better efficiency with lower winds. And obviously it'll extend the life of that turbine.
Okay.
Anything else?
Okay, thank you.
Do you want 2 originals signed? I one to keep for you guys.
Yeah, let's
Do it as we can. I've got a copy printed, which you can sign too. We'll
Okay.
do that after the meeting.
I'll entertain motions on this approval of signing the letter.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve signing the letter by the county engineer and the supervisor chair specifying Mid-American has no further obligations, responsibilities, or liabilities relating to future maintenance of the county road in accordance with the special use permit issued for the use of county roads during the construction of the Laurel Repower Wind Project.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this. Any further questions, comments, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 11 on our agenda this morning is going to come right back to Paul. Approval of the purchase of a used 2015 Cat 12M3 motor grader from Ziegler Cat in Altoona, total cost of $197,800. This will be a purchase plus a $39,200 trade-in on a 2004 Cat 140H for a total of $197,800. Costs will be paid from the fiscal year 2023 equipment budget. Paul, you want to talk about this before we bring up our motions in second?
Yes, this is the third unit out of this set of motor graders that came back. I'm not sure if they were leased. I think they might have been leased from the loop. So they were snow service in the loop. And this is the third one that we had good luck with the other two. And it's a good price for a unit that's under $3,000. You know, we usually put 1,200 hours a year on a motor grader. So even though it's a 2015 model year, it really has a couple of years worth of what we would have serviced. So it has a good life left in the first phase of the machine. So it'll be at Ferguson with the other two, so that we keep all 3 units at Ferguson will be the same. So use the same fluids and filters and things like that. It's easier if you can keep a shed with one model, and these will all be the same model in here.
Just curious, is this a steering wheel or is this
I think they're joystick machines, and they're front wheel assist, so they're 6-wheel drive. They don't get stuck in a snowstorm. They also perform a lot better when you put a wheel plow on because there's power under the plow.
Well, if they're from Duluth, they've got to go up and down Miller Hill. And I do need to chastise you a little bit, being all Norwegian and from that area. It's Duluth. Yeah, the H is
I'm
silent,
only a quarter Norwegian. So.
but there's a lot of snow.
Okay.
Okay, unless you have further questions or concerns, I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
I would make a motion and to approve the purchase of used 2015 Cat 12M3 motor grader from Ziegler Cat in Altoona with a total cost of $197,800.
And Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this purchase. Any further questions, comments, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes,
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 12 this morning is to approve the participation in the Iowa Burn Justice Assistance Grant, also known as J, Program Grant Number 20, JAG 44548 grant period for July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, and authorize the chairman to sign this document. Participation in the Iowa Burn Justice Assistance Grant is for a period of July 1st, 2022 to 2023. We do have federal dollars at $82,000 plus a match from Marshall County for $27,333 for a total of $109,333. And I may be a little off on that match. I'm going to ask the sheriff to clarify that. Does that match really come out of our budget, or is that with the other agencies that we also participate?
That one comes from the other agencies also.
Okay. You want to speak to this a little bit?
Yeah, this is, I got to commend our multi-jurisdiction drug task force. They've done an outstanding job, especially this last year. Their drug seizures were up 42%, which is just phenomenal, which is telling us they are intercepting these drug shipments before they enter our area, which is 21. 20 was they seized 90 pounds of controlled substances. They did 130 pounds last year. So their focus is going to be methamphetamine, and we've seen a high influx of THC edibles and oils. A lot of this is coming through the U.S. mail. We're working some projects with the postal carriers. They're being proactive on these seizures to disrupt and dismantle the trafficking organization. So one thing they've seen this year so far is with drug users and drug traffickers. So far at 22, they seized about 30 guns. So this also is opens up the door a little bit with federal prosecution. So it has some opportunities to put these criminals back, or at least out of our area, locked up for quite some time. So they've done a phenomenal job. There's also negotiations and talks with the Division of Narcotics Enforcement. We already have one agent assigned to us. We may get two, just being successful to the collaboration with our federal and other drug task forces. So they've done an outstanding job.
I know the day that Ashley Henson representative was here, we had an opportunity to bring this up when she was talking, and coincidentally, that was the day we had 6 arrests on the front page of the paper. So it kind of segued really good. I asked her and her aide to work at doubling this grant based upon what we get. Her aide knew exactly what it was and had some previous contact with law enforcement. As usual, when you talk to these folks, it sounded promising, but I believe you also knew his aide, and it was a good conversation. So hopefully in the future, we'll get a little bit larger grant from the federal government on this for our drug task force. That being said, I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve participation in Iowa Burn Justice Assistance Grant, JAG Program Grant, number 20, JAG 44548, grant period of July 1, 2022, June 30th, 22, June 20th, 23. Authorized share to sign documentation, federal $82,000 plus match $27,333 with a total of $109,333.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this. Any further comments, questions, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes,
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 13 on our agenda this morning is to approve Johnson Controls Plan Service Agreement, 1-year continuation, 7/31/2023 for $8,696. Subsequent years are also described in Schedule A. Lucas from Buildings and Grounds, you want to bring us up to speed on this, please?
Yeah, this is a
a 1-year extension to what we normally see a 5-year extension on. And we're looking at 1 year because the courthouse is going to be a little funky when it comes to this. So we're hoping to just do a 1-year extension. And then when the courthouse rolls on and up to full speed, it'll be adjusted. And we should be able to get back to our final. I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the Johnson Controls Land Service Agreement, 1-year continuation through 7/31 of 2023 at $8,656. Subsequent years described in Schedule A, and authorize the chair to sign.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this contract and service agreement. Any further questions, comments, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Clausen.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 14 is to approve some courthouse construction approvals. Lucas, you're still on deck. You want to bring us up to speed here, please? Yeah, everything on here are actually things that we have tentatively approved in the past. We're just looking for some more official approvals to turn OPN over to write the actual contract change orders. So we have a bit of a breakdown here. We broke it down: owner, storm code, and damages, which is kind of our 4 categories that we look at different things and how we do approvals. So at this point, for the portion that Marshall County is going to be responsible for upfront are the owner, the code, and the damages portion. Obviously, the damages portion goes back to perfection when we have those conversations. Also, a portion of the code there as well. The lion's share of that is actually the general conditions portion of the exterior of the project, and actually rolls a few different portions together for the general conditions. That's essentially what we need to pay Bryholtz to manage the job. That is, their rental fees, their employee pays, just a lot of different things add up to those numbers. So pretty much this is just something that we need an approval from you guys on. There really isn't anything to sign at this point until we get the official contract change from it. Nan, you have anything to add to that?
No, this is all stuff that you've heard before.
Yep, we've gone over all of this several times. All of this is in our budget, so, yep, that's very good. That was gonna be my next question, and you kind of knew that was coming. I've heard it before, just a little bit. For some reason, I keep bringing up that budget. It's my nature. I will entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve Bryholtz Construction Company applications for payment in the amount of $1,488,435 and authorize chair to sign.
And I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve these changes and approve for Bryholtz and everything to sign. Any further questions, comments, or concerns? There's nothing to sign there.
At this time.
At this time, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna cross that out. Do we need to change that motion at all?
I'm thinking let's leave the sign on for when we get the contract.
Yeah, I guess if you leave it on there when I get the contract, you could just sign it.
Then
We
it's
don't have to run.
Then
it.
it's pre-approved. Yeah, let's leave
Yeah.
the sign on there.
Is that fine with you, gentlemen?
Yep.
Okay, then we're going to leave that motion the same. It's been made a first and a second. Any questions, comments, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Clausen.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to item 15 this morning is to approve OPN Architects Incorporated contract change order number 2 and contract change order number 3. Lucas, you're still on deck. Yeah, this is basically step 2 from the previous approvals that we've done. This is the actual contract change. We have those documents, so we just need to have chairman's signature for those. Okay, I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion then to approve OPN Architects Incorporated contract change order 2 $559,458.92. And contract change order number 3 for $707,355.62. And authorize the chair to sign.
Lucas, one further question. That is in our budget, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this. Any further comments, questions, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes?
Slosson,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item number 16 this morning is to approve a zoning variance number 2022, variance number 6010 for DDL Farms LLC that was approved by the zoning commission on 5/17/2022. I think it's proper to read this. It's going to take a bit, but we'll go through it. John Witt from DDL Farms requested a variance for the requirements of Article 3, Section 3 of the Marshall County Plating and Subdivision Ordinance. Said requirements would normally require the filing of a subdivision plat for a repeated or simultaneous division of a lot recorded in Marshall County Recorder's Office after January 1st, 2015 into 3 or more portions. The Witts want to separate approximately 4.5 acres from their 117.49 acres so that a home would be separated from the property. After consideration, Marshall County Zoning Commission at a regular meeting on May 17, 2022 has granted permission to waive the requirement for this property. That being said, I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve zoning variance 2022 variance 6010 for DDL Farms LLC that was approved by the zoning commission on 5/17/22.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this zoning variance. Any questions, comments, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 17 is to also approve the zoning variance 2022 BAR number 6011 for Ryan and Amanda DeJean that was approved by the zoning commission on 5/17/2022. Ryan and Amanda DeJean requested a variance on the requirements of Article 3, Section 3 of the Marshall County Plating and Subdivision Ordinance. Said requirements would normally require the filing of the subdivision plat for the repeated or simultaneous division of a lot of recorded in the Marshall County Recorder's Office after July 1st, 2015, with 3 or more parcels. The DeJohns want to purchase approximately 10 acres from their neighbor and combine with their existing land to create a new parcel. After consideration, Marshall County Zoning Commission at a regular meeting on May 17th, 2022 has granted permission to waive this requirement for the property. I'll entertain motions on this, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion then to approve the zoning variance 2022 VAR 6011 for Ryan and Amanda DeYoung that was approved by the zoning commission 5/17/2022.
And Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this variance. Any comments, questions, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 18 on our agenda this morning is to adopt resolution number 2022-0020 of public purpose for election activities and training. Dan, would you bring us up to speed on this, please?
The old adage, if you feed them, they will come. For our training, we try to provide some food. We used to do something a lot more homemade back before COVID. And we just spent our own money, and I'd like to be able to provide the snacks for training for all of our precinct election officials, along with we are now using county employees to do the opening and closing at the locations. And we do that during a noon hour. And I provide a sandwich and some chips, water. So my total for this election is $182 for all of the votes. So around 100 PEOs and the 11 county people that are opening and closing.
And this simply comes out of your elections.
It comes out of our election budget. But it's kind of like back to the plaque for a retiree. We need to set a resolution to designate it a public purpose.
Okay, I think you've done that. That being said, I'll entertain motions on this resolution, please.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve resolution 2022 and 0020, a public purpose for election activities and training.
Would you please change that to adopt?
What did I say? Adopt.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 2022-0020, a public purpose for election activities and training. Any further comments, questions, or concerns?
The $180 seems a little extravagant to me. Is there anything you can do to?
I'll work on it.
See, now, it's so much simpler in northern Wisconsin. You just get a bucket of herring and some crackers and you're done. I mean,
Actually,
you can't keep them away.
well, there you go. But it is, yeah, we used to, before COVID, do a follow-up. And we would only supply food with having them give us ideas on how to improve. COVID kind of stopped that. And not having a courthouse as well. So hopefully that's something we can go back to at some point. But we try to keep it very low key and don't go extravagant.
All right, we have a motion and a second to adopt. Any further questions, comments, or concerns? No hearing?
No.
Yeah. Okay. There being no comments or concerns, Sherry, roll call vote.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Item number 19 on our agenda this morning is to approve the 2080 agreement with Franklin County, Iowa, for Franklin County, Iowa to be the CICS employer of record. Bill, you want to explain this? And we also have Nan is having a fit down here. So please go ahead.
Can I go first?
You
please?
can.
Okay. When it was actually, there was a group of us that had a meeting, and it's been probably about 3 weeks ago. And we kind of heard what they were wanting, the direction they were wanting to go. And this 2080 agreement was for 10% of Kelly Burton's time. The ultimate goal was to completely get, we wouldn't be doing this a year from now. I didn't know that piece of it up until that meeting, that was something they just completely wanted to go away. So I have been in contact with Betsy Sturzma, who is the finance person who's kind of been leading the charge of the 2080 and kind of getting the information out to folks. I've had a call with her about what if we move this date up. And I spoke to Dave. Dave has spoken to the VA department, and they are willing. I spoke with Lisa Soder, who is the director of CICS for the county. She was getting rid of all of her county time beginning July 1st. So instead of waiting a year from now, we are, and Betsy was very much in favor of this, to start this switch over July 1st. Talk to James and Lucas about kind of changing over their space so that they are able to just do their community services work for the region. As Lisa said, they are still here. If there are some questions after we get to July 1st on how things go, they're happy to help. And the other piece of this is also the general assistance will go to VA, but substance abuse will remain with Lisa. If it is something with Lisa Soder, if it is something that's to go to Marshall County only, she will review it and send it on to Sherry Kopenauer for you all's approval, because it's supposed to go through our budget. So they will remain the oversight for that, but if it needs to be paid directly from Marshall County, she'll get that to Board of Supervisors. You know, there's a lot of logistics we're still working out, but I think it'll make a nice transition for everything. And we will not have to figure out the 29-page 2080 agreement that I thought was going to ask for my firstborn child.
That was our real mission, was to get rid of that 29-page 28.
When I started reading that, I went, "Oh, we're not doing this."
And quite frankly, moving it over underneath the VA and general assistance is absolute no-brainer.
A lot of
And-
counties are doing
And
that.
those folks work together anyway.
Mhm.
So we've got all the agencies in the same building, and it's literally walk across the hall, have a conversation,
Mhm.
make sure all the boxes are checked and the i's are dotted and t's are crossed. And I think this will be a good way for us.
So we do not even need to do this. We can remove this then from the budget or from the agenda. And we don't need to any further action here because we're switching everything July 1st of 22.
But Franklin County still is this for CIS for the region, but not us.
Yeah, but we've already done that. This is for
Already
them to be, yeah, I don't think we need any of this.
So we can just take no further action on item number 19.
Yes.
Okay,
Just let it go.
all right.
Because that was for the 2080 agreement for us to pay the 10% for Ellie and to get charged
Correct.
back, and they were gonna do time studies, and it sounded like a lot of work.
Is that fine with both of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's let item number 19 gracefully fall to the wayside. Kim, we have Marshall County Hazard Mitigation Plant application. You want to bring us up to speed on any changes since the last time we spoke?
Yeah, not a lot of changes since the last time we spoke, although we forgot to add that we needed some signatures on some paperwork, which I have the one that needs to be signed by the board. I talked to the state, and even though it's not a project that's technically going through emergency management, I can be the point of contact. So that solved a lot of it, which is good. So I can sign stuff and then push it on to you because there has to be signatures on some of these things. And we weren't sure if Nan was gonna do it or Jeannie. Yeah, it was confusing. So it simplified things that we can move forward with the simple things. And then when it comes to budgeting, board will have to.
Do we have those documents in our
I
package for
have-
signatures this morning?
The one here, the only one that you have to do is the giving me an authorized representative signature. The rest of it's all filled out. When the application is updated, I'm waiting on we talked about phase 1, phase 2. We're waiting on the phase 1 new estimates so that I can push that on up and update the application. Once that's done, we'll have that to sign. But basically, we just need permission to sign these initial application documents. And then once we go to the next step, we'll go out for RFP bids and all that kind of thing. So
Is that the 20.A there? Is
That
that,
is
is that
the-
the signature that we need that one
tab F. Let's see.
on the agenda.
on the agenda?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Approve hazard mitigation grant application. Is that what we need? That approved by the supervisors for the signatures?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So item 20 is not necessarily what we're gonna have to vote on. We're gonna vote on item number 20.
20.A, yes.
Okay. All right, that being said, I'll entertain motions on the approval hazard mitigation grant application for the Siren project. Phase 1, funding at 90%/10%, and authorize the chair to sign necessary documents for the project.
And just to be clear, 90 is federal, 10 is state. So we, at this phase 1, don't have any money to come from the county or the cities.
Right. As of this time.
Yes.
Phase 2 could
Phase
be
2,
different.
yes, could be different.
Okay.
My turn.
Flip a coin.
Yeah, your turn.
All right, I'll make a motion then to approve the hazard mitigation grant application for Siren Project, phase 1, funding 90% federal, 10% state, and authorize the chair to sign necessary documents for the project.
And Mr. Chair, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, authorizing the chairman to sign Siren Project Phase 1 at 9010. Any further comments, questions, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Flossie,
Yes.
Unless anybody wants to remove item number 21 from the table, I will skip to item number 2022. Okay. Item number 22 on our agenda this morning is public forum. This is a time set aside for the public to make comments on topics of county business other than those listed on this agenda. No action will be taken on any of these topics brought up in public forum. Nan?
Today is election day. It's the primary election. If you don't know where your polling location is, check out our website or give the office a call.
If you don't know where it is, you just come into town.
Well, if you come into town, then we're gonna send you back to your polling location.
Oh, really?
Yes, you
can't do
cannot
that.
vote, you cannot vote at the election center today.
Okay,
If you have your ballot out, you can bring it to us by 8 PM today, though. You've got one out absentee, you can bring that in.
It's that closing time, see?
8 PM is closing time, so that's what time the polls close as well. So as long as you're there before 8 PM, you'll still be able to vote.
So they could turn in their absentee ballot at the poll,
No, they
By
they
8?
have to bring to us.
bring to us.
Bring to us at the election center, AKA Old Fire Station.
All right. Anybody else have anything for the good of the order?
Was there pretty active voting?
Yesterday we had 225. Saturday, we had 39, 40. We beat Dallas County, we beat a lot of counties. One county said she had 2. One was her mother. So they kind of went out and everybody, most folks were 8 or less, even decent sized counties. So we've got, I think, good participation.
Well, I think that with the primaries, one thing that I learned yesterday is if you go in, you have to change your party that you're voting for if you have a specific party.
Or if you're no, yeah, if you're
Or if
no
you're a
party
party.
person, you have to pick a ballot. This is a nomination,
Absolutely have to.
nomination process for the fall, for the November election. So
Well, I think all this speaks very highly of the citizens of Marshall County. I'm a firm believer that good government requires active participation, and it's good to see a nice turnout. Anything else for the good of the order?
good to go.
Anybody on Zoom? I'll take it by the silence, we're done. Item number 23 is moving on to adjournment. The next regular session is June 21st, 2022 at 9:05. All business to be acted upon at that session should be submitted to the county auditor and recorder's office or the board of supervisors office by Wednesday, June 16th, 2022 at 12 PM. There being no further business to come before the board, this meeting is adjourned at 9:56 AM. Thank you, everybody, for coming and participating.